Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
You are an American, so default with pride. We will show you how. We'll help you solve your problem with the bank once and for all in a truly grand fashion. Mortgages should be illegal. They are certainly immoral. You are actually expected to pay more than a house is worth. You were probably tricked by lawmakers and clever salesmen who gave you money and expected you to pay it back to them slowly over time. Well, now you don't have to. If they were foolish enough to loan money to a guy like you, they deserve to suffer. Do you know how many homes meet a tragic end due to electrical malfunctions, improper storage of petroleum, mudslides, and other disasters? Well, let's just put it like this. There's about to be one more.
Visit stoppayingyourmortgage.net.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello, everybody. It's a brand new episode of Third Shift. It is episode 473, and I, of course, am one of the hosts, Mr. Eric, and with me today, as per usual, it's Mr. Matt, the inglorious bastard himself. He's here today. We're going to have ourselves a fun time. And of course, before we talk about video games and other random news, we got to tell you how the week's been, Matt. And I need to know, what's Matt been doing? What the hell's going on?
So, okay, I'm going to go immediate tangent because we talked about right before the show started. I went back and listened to some old shows. And one of the things that struck me was how short and simple the intros were. It was like, hey, I'm Matt, and here's my buddy Eric. And you, hey, I'm Eric, and this is Matt. What are we talking about this week? Did you have a good week? And our week was, yeah, it was a pretty good week. What about you? Like, no. We got to stretch this out for 30 straight minutes of show and do wild intros and call each other weird things. But it was a good week because on Thursday of last week, because we had to do an early show, went to the Wharton Center for World Ballet Company, The Great Gatsby. Now, I don't remember The Great Gatsby, the book. I had to read it either in late high school or early college. And I didn't like it at all, and I remember just hating it, but I don't remember anything about it. But the ballet was pretty nice. They called it like a Broadway-style ballet, and I didn't notice what that really meant, but the music in some scenes was like bumping. I was like tapping my toe and moving and grooving as they were doing these big ballet scenes, and it was really good. The staging was really good, too, because there was, at some point in the show, there's like big parties, and then like later, something bad has happened to a character, and there's nobody in this big scene. So the contrasting this beautiful scene full of people with the same staging, but now there's one man in there and it's dark and kind of dim and you see things around the downswing. Really cool. The only thing I will say in a negative way about this is people, especially you old people, please stop talking during the shows. You got to stop. Here's a perfect example in The Great Gatsby. At some point in this show, in the book, in the movie, in the whatever, somebody gets shot with a gun. Okay, that happens. But in, a ballet, it's in the music. Like the guy points the gun, the drums kind of go dig-a-do-do, and he goes with his gun, and the man falls down. So that happened. Drums, man falls down. The scene's starting to go dark, and over next to me I hear, I sure hope they don't do a gunshot sound effect. I would be so disappointed. It's already happened. What happened? What's going on? What's happening? But whatever, a great show otherwise. Similar vein, went out to Wharton Center on Saturday. That wasn't the next day, it was Saturday, for Lansing Symphony Orchestra's Masterworks concert, which was really cool because the first half they did was a piece with like the MSU choir in the background and the orchestra up front. So it was like packed and there was cool choir stuff going on. But the piece they did was inspired by Leonardo da Vinci's works. So on the sides, they had video screens also. And it would be like images of his artwork, things he'd drawn and like written up, mathematical equations, all the Da Vinci stuff. And then sometimes it would be animated. So like, the flying machine. We all know the Da Vinci flying machine. But it was like flying through a war zone, and you see like these little helter-skelter soldiers dudes running up these siege towers that he'd drawn at some point that I didn't even know about. So all these pieces kind of singing about this with music, really cool, really awesome. Then the second half was The Planets, which is the very famous classical piece. Even if you don't know any classical music, if you've heard any before, you've definitely heard Jupiter and you've heard Mars, for sure. That was awesome, really cool. And especially during The Planets, they had planets stuff on those view screens on the side. So I love science. I'm a science guy. I'm a planets kid. Looking at this while hearing amazing music, it was really cool, really great. Except for a part, I think it was in Neptune. The choir was there for the first half. Then they all left. But during Neptune, at the end of the second half, somebody very conspicuously opened the doors to backstage. And you hear like, offstage singing. Okay, very cool. Like, I liked the feel of it. It felt like an otherworldly, faraway planet type of a feel. Cool, awesome. What do I hear right behind me? Who's singing? Who the do you think is singing? Who do you think is singing? You just saw everybody who... People, please stop talking during the shows. You have nothing... No, I shouldn't say you have nothing good to say. But just don't talk out loud, top of your lungs during the shows. Stop it. Please stop it. On the video game front, it was Friday. I bought Ghost of Yotei. I brought it home. I put it into my PlayStation 5, and it said, you have an hour and a half to install. And I said, okay, what else can I play right now? I can play the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 beta. And I played that. I intended to play it for about an hour and a half. Whenever it would say, bling, Ghost of Yotei is ready, I would stop. And I didn't stop for a single second all Friday night because that was so much flippin' fun. And I told Eric this off air. I was a murder machine that night. I went like 10-0 in my first 10 games. Then I had a couple losses, but everything was good. Then I got to the point where apparently I was ranking up to being pretty good because I was doing well, and I fought people who killed you instantly, and we lost like 1,000-0 on every match, and then it kicked me back down into the relative decent scrub tier, and it was just so much fun. It was so fun. I haven't played Call of Duty in forever, and I'm not the big Call of Duty head, but it just felt great. Running around, shooting dudes, like I got the feel back immediately. Versus when I first had ever played Call of Duty, it was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm running and instantly dying. Inside of like 5 matches, I was like, okay, run and peek. And right here, clear your corners, check your corners, do the things that you're supposed to do in Call of Duty. And it felt awesome. It felt so good. It felt so good that I went back and played it all Monday night also when they upped the beta level cap, because I capped out on Friday. They upped the cap again and got you some rewards. Went and did that on Monday too. Except Friday was closed beta. Monday was open beta. So in a couple of those matches, I had Call of Duty morons, the people who stand in spawn and don't move. The guy who stands in spawn but moves like 1 millimeter a second, so he's technically not idle, and you can't kick him, and the system can't kick him. You got people who just, as soon as they spawn in, look down and throw a grenade at their feet and blow themselves up. And went 0-47 the whole time with their microphone going, even though I was in my own private party, so I can't hear anybody. I'm never going to hear anybody when I'm playing Call of Duty. But even so, at the end of that night, I had a match where I had 32 kills and like 15 deaths. Obviously not the greatest, but man, I was a murder machine. It just felt good. It felt like so much fun. I don't know if I'll play it and, buy it and get it when it comes out, but this Call of Duty chunk I played was, it was great and it was killer. The only other thing that was great and killer, Death Stranding 2, got in a stream over the weekend, and we're getting more and more close to endgame because everybody who said you're wrapping it up, now they said you have wrapped it up. And then Higgs showed up, and then things happened, and then Higgs showed up, and then the worst kept secret of the entire stream was revealed. Oh my gosh, who could believe that tomorrow was who tomorrow is? Oh my God, it was amazing. But I'm at the point where it's like, here's another point of no return. Go back to Mexico and do some stuff. But in my brain, it says, no, you got to build them roads, and you got to build those monorails, and you got to 5-star everything. So I did that after the stream. I did that last night also, and it's just a blast. Don't shake your head at me. It's so much fun. But that's almost getting to the wrap-up point where I go do that, and then there's like 3 more chapters after that, I know, because I know the chapter total. But 2 great game experiences, 2 pretty darn good real-life experiences. What about you, Mr. Eric?
Well, it was quarter in, and not that pleasant. Stressful. And not just because of the work, because of the people. But I can't speak on it. So, we'll just say, we did it, it's over. It's not actually over, we're still running cold. But it's over, for the most part. So not a great weekend. I did get Sunday off, so we got 1 day off, which is nice. And I did send Matt a cool Discord And I was like, because he was like, oh, I can't get on stupid Yote because it's going to be an hour and something. I got home at 11 something at night. And because I didn't even know this game was out. Matt had to tell me while I was at work. And I went, oh my God, I'm stupid. So I went home and it took me like 15 minutes to download. And I was very happy about that. However, I got in the game and it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. But I was way too tired to play. So as soon as it opened up and I was able to do stuff, I didn't have the motivation to do it. And I was I can't do this. I turned it back off, watched some shows, and went to bed. So after that happened, like I said, I got Sunday off, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Here we are. Thursday, the week just kind of cruised by, and every night I've been trying to at least play a little bit of something. And there was 2 games, man. I got the whole of Silent Hill left, a little bit more, not too much. I am in like my 3rd or 4th time in the weird fox area. And if you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm in there. Huge story moment happened. Actually, 2 big story moments happened. One of them was pretty crazy. I knew it was going to end up happening, but another one got revealed, and I wonder what it all means. All right. It's really cool. So it's doing the Silent Hill thing. Definitely a lot of weird stuff happening, and you're going, what in the hell is happening to the protagonist and then your partners here and everything else. And then a mild spoiler, something I had heard and suspected, but it's been told to me 100% now, is that you have to play this game 2 to 3 times if you want the actual story. It changes vastly throughout the different playings of the game. So I have to play this game 3 times, I think it is, apparently, to get the gist of Silent Hill F. And part of me is excited. I love it. It's near. Hey, we're going back near again. This is great. And it like I said, it changes just like Nier does. It's not like you're just getting a couple extra things. The story changes. The subject matter changes. Areas are open that were not open. Areas that weren't open or not open, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So I'm pretty stoked on one end, but the other part of me is like, oh my God, I got too many games to play. I got too many games to play. I can't do 3-4 playthroughs of one game. Holy crap. So on one end, very happy. On the other end, I'm like, I'm going to fail this year. I'm going to fail. There's too many games happening.
Can you turn it down to easy mode for playthroughs 2 through 19?
Yeah, I'm on story mode as it is.
Okay.
There's only 2 modes, too. That's the weird part about it. Story mode and hard. And I'm like, well, I'm not playing hard mode. It's not happening.
No.
And so I put it on story mode. And I'm like, all right. It says even in the description, this is for traditional Silent Hill fans, story mode. So I was like, okay, whatever. And that's why I'm playing it. However, from people who've already beaten it a couple times, they say post the original playthrough, you can up it to hard, and then you'll have more fun, doing the mechanics, doing all the stuff. So I would say that's what I would have done, and maybe I'll try it. But just like you just said, due to time, I might just keep it in story mode so I can just smash through. Because obviously in the post games, you're going to have all the stuff you had from your previous playthrough, and you're going to be more powerful, and the story changes and things jump around. I'm also hearing, and I don't know for sure, that the next playthroughs are also shorter, just like in Nier. So it's not like you got to do the entirety of it all over verbatim again. Everything changes. So that's on that end. Got a little bit done of it. Like I said, I'm in the Fox realm right now, which means I'll be doing a boss of some kind here shortly. Maybe, because this Fox realm is really different, been kind of strange compared to the other 2 or whatever I've done. But we'll see. I don't want to spoil nothing, so I can't really talk about it. And of course, the only other game I played was Ghost of Yote, which I told you I downloaded on that wonderful, I think it was Friday night, whatever, when I got home, and then didn't play it. But Saturday, I said, well, I'm going to play this. Saturday night, sure enough, I got on, and I did play it for like 30 minutes, and I went, this is beautiful, but then I was also too tired. So I turned it off again, and I watched the show, and I went to bed. And I told you, I got Sunday off. Well, Sunday, I actually got to play. Did some stuff with the kids, some this and some of that. But then I had hours long stretches of free time. And I got in there and boy, oh boy, this game is gorgeous, Matt. Absolutely gorgeous. Everywhere you go, you're looking at a moment where you can say, oh, I could take a picture here. And everybody be like, oh, that's so cool, man. That looks great. That's everywhere. And there was one moment early on, I'm riding on the fields and I see these wild horses just galloping by. And I just keep running towards them. And all of a sudden, they veer to me. And they start riding with me. So now we're just this huge herd of horses just galloping. We're sending cranes up into the sky as we go through the rivers and just chugga, 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 chugga. And meanwhile, there's puffs of smoke coming up. There's curious events happening here. Birds are coming and flying in and going, Q, come follow me. And tangent, side quest. I'm losing my mind. Oh my God. And that's what I did. I lost my mind and I started just following the birds, following the foxes, wandering off here, wandering off there, doing goodness knows what, getting into stuff that probably shouldn't even be at yet, having like these duels that are very, not super difficult, but way more difficult than I probably need to be because I have nothing in this game yet. I've done nothing. I've not done a single actual main quest at all. And I'm like, yep, this is what it's supposed to be. This is it right here. Me just wandering around, figuring out where stuff is, getting new songs for my shamisen, getting freaking new headbands, getting new masks, doing God knows what, side quest after side quest, helping out these poor townsfolk who are just getting screwed over left and right by all these Yahoo samurais, Ronin samurais, and this freaking clan that's a piece of crap. And yeah, it's good stuff. And of course, man, I told Matt already, I found the spa, I found one. And I jumped in there, and there's butts galore. So you know what? You get your butts. You get all the butts this time, Matt. You get butts last time. You get butts this time. You know, some say, though, that Jin's butt was a little bit tighter, a little bit more sexy. But that's up to the eye. You know, you got to decide for yourself.
Now, before the butt tangent, you made me think of something I had forgotten, which was the headbands.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, if that frog headband is not in this one, I'm going to be pissed. Because as soon as frog was available, it was nonstop frog. It was frog time. I think one of my streams is even called Ribbit, because you just had to be frog, and then you had to coordinate your colors with the frog headband. Because I forgot about the customization game, and I'm getting chills like right up my back right now. It's like, oh man, I can't wait to dress up and wear all kinds of different outfits and masks and headbands and stuff whenever I get around to playing this, because I got too many goddamn games to play.
Oh yeah, and that makes you return to your actual regular attire. You get different sets which have different perks, so of course use those according to your play style, but some look better than others, especially with the different headpieces / masks and hats and whatnot. And yep, I'm right back in it, already getting custom, my colors matching and looking good. And your of course your katanas have different casings for them, so I've already got a few of those. And I'm like, man, what happens when I get these other weapons? Are they gonna have really cool things too, and the different colors? And I can't wait. So I finally got the dual katana done, and then now I'm looking to go get the adachi or whatever it's called, because that's right by me, and then the yari, which is like the spear or whatever. So I can't wait to get those and start to try to figure out how the battle system works, because instead of stances now, it's just you got to switch between weapons depending on who you're fighting. But I haven't mastered that at all whatsoever. Even though I have dual katanas, most of my fighting I'm just doing with the single katana still. So I got to start to get it in my head to switch over. And, when I see certain specific enemy types that are going to be better with one or the other. So we'll get there. I'm still pretty early on because, like I said, it was quarter end. And then I've kind of this week's been like a catch up and cleaning the house and household stuff. So that's been the week, Matt. That's been it.
That sounds like a fantastic and terrible week at the same time. So I'm going to tell you about something that'll light up both of our spirits. That's a game called, so I've heard, Absolum. Google even transposes the O and the A. So Absolum, Absolum is here, launching today as we're recording this on the 9th, developed by Guard Crush Games and Dotemu, or Dotamu, or Dotemu, or whatever the hell you want to call them, and Supermonks, published by Dotemu. I'm going to say Dotemu.
Dotemu sounds right.
For PC, PS4, and PS5. And Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. This is a game I didn't even know about. I had no idea this was coming out. This is a game by, like I said, Guard Crush Games and Dotemu, who made Streets of Rage 4. And boy, howdy, does it look like it. But this is a medieval fantasy type of world where there's a big evil empire and you play as part of the ragtag group of rebels trying to take out the Sun King, I think is what his name is. But it has that cartoony / comic book graphical style, kind of that Streets of Rage 4 had, but in a medieval fantasy way. And so you start off, you got two different characters to pick from. You start off with a swords person and a dwarf, and then you're going in beat 'em up style. going around this whole big map, all these big areas, and fighting enemies in a beat 'em up style. Archers and little frogmen, little goblins, and all this other stuff. But when you die, surprise, it's actually a roguelite. So it's not just a beat 'em up game, it's a roguelite. And as soon as I heard that, kind of my eyes lit up and I went, that makes so much sense. Because that is what beat 'em ups are. If you don't put in more quarters, you go as far as you can and then you start over. But here, obviously, you go back to camp. You can use your experience to level yourself up, to unlock new abilities, new equipment, all that kind of stuff in a roguelite style. And then you go out again and you're beating up enemies. And what I've seen from the gameplay is that it's actually pretty cool. It's not just basic walk up, walk down, walk left, walk right, hit the punch button. They've got like a dodge button in here, but it functions in a different way than you would think. Because if you dodge toward an enemy when they're attacking you, you do like a parry. You knock their attack away and then you can get in a combo. If you dodge up or down, then you could do like a counter strike. So, you usually kind of meander up and down from enemies in a beat 'em up style. So they added this up and down dodge mechanic to kind of play into that. And I got to say, this game just looks really good. It looks really awesome. Some of the cool stuff you can do is either at your home base or outside as you're wandering through this world, you can pick up side quests. And maybe in this run, you can't even finish the side quest, but you know that if you go to the north and the west of the big giant map, I think I've seen 3 big areas of the map with all these different like stages and interconnected things. But if you go up to the northwest or the northeast or whatever, that's where that side quest is. So maybe you can't get there on this run, but maybe on your next run, you've unlocked a key that allows you to open the door that lets you get up that way. So now you can do that and get more rewards and get more things. And as you finish out an area, I don't know how big of an area, maybe it's the entire landmass, but I can't imagine so. You start getting augments to your skills. I've seen when you do a dash, it's got a fire trail behind you, stuff like wrapping enemies up in a tornado for a CC effect, all kinds of really cool stuff like summoning skeletons. Obviously, that's the one that I'm going to get all the time if I have the choice. And the other thing that I've heard is when you go and fight big bosses, like you always do in roguelikes and in beat 'em ups, they've said the bosses are really pretty hard and really pretty brutal and maybe sometimes aren't as much fun to fight as they should be. But what I appreciated and what I saw in those video reviews was that they do get affected by CC. So like somebody used the tornado and the boss actually rocked back in a stun and kind of did the little wibbledy-wobbledy in the tornado. When most beat 'em up bosses, you are barely doing anything to them. You're stunning them for maybe like a frame and then they just go raw and knock you away and then you have to insert another quarter. But this game just looks great. Go watch some reviews, watch some gameplay. It has that Streets of Rage 4 look, but in like a medieval way, and it's brightened up, it's shiny, it's cool looking. I just love the blend of these two things. Roguelike, which I like, beat 'em up, which I like, and they just go so well together. You put some chocolate in my peanut butter, some peanut butter in my chocolate, and you got Absolum.
I'll tell you what, I was looking at this one as well. And you know me, I don't like the roguelites and stuff, but I do love the beat 'em ups. And I do love the graphics of this thing. And I'm like, this kind of works out. Because I love beat 'em ups, and like you said, it's kind of like a roguelike in and of itself, and I don't mind that. But now you get the perks of having permanent abilities to start your go every single time, but you're still just playing a beat 'em up in its essence. So I really was tempted to check this one out, and maybe I will if I can get through some games this year, if I can finally get through some damn games, man. But a game I do own, a game I do have, is Battlefield 6 by the Battlefield Studios in EA, of course. That bad boy's out, 10/10, and it's here. And I don't know how it's going to go yet, Matt. It's a game I don't traditionally play by myself. I buy this game because I play it with family members, and we have a great time. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, a million nights of great nights of just having multiplayer action. I'm going in as an engineer, and I'm healing up the freaking tanks, keeping Chad and everybody alive, and submachine guns out, squashing folks that get close to us. Always a great time. And now it's finally back again in its traditional form. Because as I just said, I used to be an engineer. Well, they moved away from that system and went on to some other stuff, but now it's back. You get to be engineer, assault, support, or recon, and each of them has very strict things that they're good at and not good at. And you're going to go on these maps that range all over the world this time because you're in a globe-trotting adventure. And of course, the story mode is back again, so you do have a campaign. And if you want, reviews are all over the place, and they're ranging all over the place on how good the campaign is. No matter what, even the good or bad ones, all of them say that visually, it's amazing. Music, amazing. Audio effects in general, amazing. It's always just the story and whether you care about it and all. That seems to be ranging from 1 all the way up to 10. Goodness knows what. So that's going to be something you're going to have to judge for yourself. But of course, Battlefield Studios is delivering on how the game looks, how the game sounds, how the game feels. All that is dressed to the nines, looking solid. I don't really got to tell you what Battlefield is. You all know what it is. And of course, I played the beta back when it came out weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And these maps are awesome. These maps are great. We only got to see some of the smaller maps, however, and I've been told by these reviews that there are several huge maps where you're going to be traversing tons of ground. And of course, you're going to have jets flying, helicopters going all over the place. And those maps are my favorite ones because I love nothing's better than being an engineer, pulling out that RPG and getting a hit on a helicopter and just watching that bad boy fall out of the sky and knowing you just pulled off such a trick, cool shot and got one of those bad boys. That's Cloud9 right there. So the smaller maps typically don't have the aircraft stuff. So you're just shooting tanks, and hopefully they do some mitigation. They said they were going to do all sorts of changing of what's what in the game before it launched. But in the beta, taking down a tank was like, without any healing, 3 hits. And now if you don't know, it's 1 shot, reload, 1 shot, 1 reload, 1 shot, reload. It's a long time. All right. And the statistically speaking, that tank's going to have an engineer somewhere by it. So then you're talking 5, 6 shots. That's not going to happen. So I was finding during the beta, except for rare exception, you were never taking down any vehicle because by the time you reloaded, the 3 engineers had already healed the tank back up. So you're just shooting for no reason. And then you get shot by the tank and get blown to smithereens. So there was some stuff that needed some work, I think. Hopefully they did that, and it's going to be there in day 1. I know that they slowed down the slide. It had a Call of Duty kind of slide going on where you're flying across the ground at 80 miles an hour, and everybody went negative, Ghost Rider. That's Call of Duty. That ain't Battlefield. So they nerfed it all the way down to the ground. It's now more of a slide you'd see a real human do if a human was to slide. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I was kind of jamming with that little stupid Call of Duty slide. I was also annoyed because the shotguns were overpowered. So you're getting the typical Call of Duty shotgun slide game going. And I'm not down with that part. So it's a mixed bag. I kind of like flying around, but I also didn't like the Call of Duty kids that were coming in and going, "Oh, I can do this. I know what's going on here." So I don't know. We'll see. Game's out. Go have some fun. Check this dang thing out. The destruction of the buildings is all there. I just told you the vehicles are there. The sound effects, everything happening is just realistic, feels true to form of what you'd expect from these vehicles and guns making these sounds, doing the things. The buildings collapsing, everyone running everywhere. It's chaos, and it feels damn good. I really hope this sparks the itch in the fam again, and we all really get back into it. And then, of course, maybe someday me and Matt will play Borderlands 4 again, and then I'll have both my nights every weekend just playing with friends, doing things. We'll see if any of this ever happens. But yeah, Battlefield 6 is out. Go check this damn game out, folks.
And I got even more games you can check out, because over on the Xbox Game Pass, we got a whole bounty of things. First up, we got Little Rocket Lab. Man, if you want to be little and shoot out a rocket in a lab, you can absolutely do that. Then you got SOPA, The Tale of the Stolen Potato. I did actually look this one up. You're going into the kitchen to get a potato, and then it totally Narnia's on you. Now you're having a wacky adventure, something like that. And speaking of potatoes, man, Supermarket Simulator. Put some prices on those potatoes. Oh, man, my potatoes are $9.99 a pop. Ha, ha, ha. Market conditions, tariffs, the macroeconomic conditions of the world right now. What can you say? $9.99 potatoes. Then you got Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Gold and Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Complete. Aren't these James games? Is he a Heroes of Might and Magic guy?
Oh, yeah, he used to play those. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'd be all on board with those bad boys. And let me tell you, Matt, I've worked at 2 stores. I've worked at a Gorman's Food Market, and I've worked at a Walmart before. I'm a master with that price gun. I used to price that stuff all up and down. And back in the day, here, you didn't know, in Michigan, if you didn't have a price on every item, you get in trouble. So you dang well bet. I knew I was pricing that sucker, twisting the prices $9.99, $8.99. You had to know what the prices of these things were, because if you mispriced it, the customer got it at that price. And then you were in the back room getting chewed out by the old manager going, "Hey, those are supposed to be $7.99, not $5.99, you stupid idiot. You lost us money." And sorry.
That was the one thing. I've never worked at a retail job ever, but that's the one thing that I think would actually be fun. I mean, I know nothing's fun, but I've seen the dudes with the price gun, like the pallet in front of them going tick, 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 tick,
Mhm.
put them all on the shelf, tick, 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 just like the rhythm you would get into, and they all had headphones on too.
Oh, yeah.
So you're obviously just like bam, 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 do it to the music that I'm listening to. That actually seems kind of fun.
Yeah, we did do that. I'd put one headphone in because you got to remember. See, this is the at Gorman's when you did this. Yes, there were no customers in. It was before it opened, so you got to pull full headphones and you're just doing your job, listening to freaking Metallica and Iron Maiden, having a great time. Walmart, however, they would have the night shift. The shift that was going to close the store back when Walmart's still closed. They would have you start the whole process, and then it'd be finished by the overnight crew. But you couldn't have headphones all in because you're still helping customers. So that part wasn't as much fun. You'd be trying to, but there's always somebody come, "Hey, I was just wondering, did you have any of those? Do you know that Toy Story doll?" "I'm in sporting goods, ma'am. But sure, let me see if I can help you find a doll over in the toy department for that." That's exactly what we'll do. We're going to go find this toy for you.
See, I think if I ever had to work with retail, I couldn't deal with that. So I'd have to do what we've talked about with where I work now and figure out some kind of way. They're like, "Oh, he's got special considerations. He's got to be only in the back." And you send him an email for the request. And I'm like service merchandise. I'm the guy in the back, take it off the pallet, put it on the rolling thing that goes up behind
on the roller,
pickup window. That's me. That's what I do. I don't deal with customers. I deal with a ticketing system, and I grab things and I put them on the roller.
You got the million carts, and then it's like, oh, this one goes on to the sporting goods cart. This one goes on to the home decor cart. And that's all you're doing is just putting the appropriate things in the appropriate spots.
Exactly.
Not interacting with anybody, period, except for your other 3 compatriots back there who are also doing exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. And we all have our headphones in anyway. So hey, yep.
Just keep the offloading going. That was the only thing you needed to do. Perfect. Oh, so yeah, that's a huge tangent. You know what? That's fine. Amazon, guess what, folks? They got some games for you. I told you it was going to be spooky games, and one of them is. So we're on track here. We're still going.
They're both spooky. They're both scary. Come on now.
Yeah, sort of. That's true. XCOM 2, folks, is free for you. And if you don't know why the spooks might be there, it's because there's aliens. Everybody's spooked to the aliens. In fact, isn't there like a giant meteorite or comet or something coming right now that people think might actually just be a huge spaceship that's coming for us? It's by Mars right now or something? Oh, my God. Put on that hat. Put on your tinfoil hat. Go hide in the woods, boys and girls. The aliens are coming. And in XCOM 2, they did. And they will slaughter you. So be very, very careful, because I'm going to promise you in this strategy RPG, the favor is not in your role. The favor is in the bad guy's role, and you're going to have a tough time. But if you want a tough time and you want to kill those bad guys, go for it. The other game is the spook one for sure. Vampire the Masquerade, Reckoning of New York. Yep, you're going to be masquerading around as a vampire, sucking blood, getting in all sorts of politics and intrigue and issues and problems, and doing all sorts of nighttime stuff that you do as a vampire. In fact, there's a brand new one coming soon, someday, I think. Or did it already come? I don't know. I don't remember. But I know there's supposed to be part 2 of this somewhere in the woods. But now you get part 1, so you can get caught up and then go check out this 2 that maybe is out or is coming out or somewhere. I don't know. We'll see.
I still think it's coming.
Okay.
I was going to say maybe it's in October, but we're in October. Maybe it's later here. But yeah, I know Game Informer had their cover story on it. Everybody's been talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it on the launch calendar, so unless I missed it. And then over on the Epic Game Store, you got 2 things, one of which is our favorite thing to talk about on the Epic Game Store, and that's a bundle for some things for a free game or something. I don't even know. Albion Online, you get the Journeyman bundle. Oh boy. Woo-hoo. If you want some currency or something, or I don't know. I don't know. But if you want to play what looks like some kind of like Mega Manly style game, some pixel art action adventure 2D platform and hopping and bopping and shooting things and fighting enemy robot bosses, go check out Gravity Circuit. I thought this was like a shoot 'em up or something, but I opened up the Steam page.
Mega Man game.
That's Mega Man for sure.
It's a Mega Man clone. And from what I hear, it's pretty good, actually. So If you want an old school Mega Man type game, this is the game for you. You put on the circuit, the gravity circuit suit, and you got to learn to master it using different abilities and going and fighting all these different robot looking things. And of course, gaining their powers just like you would Mega Man. And at the end of the day, you're going to fight some kind of big boss bad. I actually am interested. And I will definitely be grabbing this one off of Epic, which I grab all of them off Epic anyway. But I wanted to make sure I take note of this one because I've been itching for some Mega Man action. And we're just not seeing it in the real world anymore. So this might do the trick.
Speaking of doing the trick, the next thing that might do the trick...
The next thing that might do the trick, Matt, I can tell you, is Nintendo.
Okay.
Putting out some tricky little videos, all right? Did you see these videos? I didn't see the second one. I just saw the first one.
I didn't see them, but I heard about both of them. So I know what is going on, and I know what's behind it.
Yeah, people were freaking out, man. They just, out of the blue, put out this video about a baby wandering around the house. The mom goes away. All of a sudden, the baby's toys are flying around, and then the baby's little, what's some of the things they call? What do the babies suck on?
Pacifier.
Pacifiers. Sorry, folks, my kids never used a pacifier, so it slips my mind. But a pacifier starts wandering around, the baby's going chasing after it. It's a whole thing. But whatever was moving these things was completely invisible. And everyone's like, oh, what is this? What's going on? Some people thought it was like Rosalina as a baby. Some people thought it was Pikmin. You know, there was theories going up and all abroad. And then, as the speculation was going crazy, they released a second video, which confirmed it is indeed Pikmin. And, but they didn't say anything else. So, still have no clue what the hell this is going to be. It's going to be something Pikmin. But is it like are they going to do like a DreamWorks / what's the other famous company that does all the stupid CG movies?
Illumination, I think.
Illumination. I feel like there's another one we're missing, but yeah, whatever. Is it going to be like a Pikmin movie that, that Nintendo's going to do? Or is this just saying, hey, we're working on some kind of Pikmin game in general? I don't know. I'm not a Pikmin guy, unfortunately. So I have no idea what's going on in the Pikmin world and where this is going to place in the Pikmin world. But I still think it's pretty neat that Nintendo just put out a video just for funsies and had everybody in an uproar going crazy. That was in the Nintendo vibe and world. I thought it was pretty cool, pretty fun to see and hear, even though I'm not the audience for it. Just a little bit of news, though, for you folks. Pikmin's coming back in some weird shape and way.
Well, and I know Pikmin 4 was the first one to actually seem like it took place on Earth. I never heard that whether it actually did or not, because it seemed like almost like post-apocalyptic Earth, because you didn't ever see humans around.
Yeah, humans were all gone.
Maybe this is like, hey, Pikmin have been here all along, and here's a back from the days story of before Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4.5, the re-reckoning, I don't know. Or like you said, it could just be a fun animated movie, because, Pikmin's a cute property. You could do all kinds of fun stories with little Pikmin interacting with people and babies and adults and kids and whatever.
What if at the end of this Pikmin, like, the nuclear bombs drop and that baby gets vaporized?
Maybe you build it with the Pikmin.
There you
go.
They're
like, this is too much. This baby ate
humans,
4 of
Pikmin.
us today. It's over. We're waging war against you.
Well, hello, everybody out there. It's your old pal, Editing Matt. I know I haven't been around for a while, but I just gotta come in and tell you, I went back and watched both of the Close to You shorts, the one without Pikmin and the one with Pikmin. And I gotta say, that first one, it tugged at my heartstrings. It was so adorable. It was so cute. And I wouldn't even like kids that much. That's what everybody says anyway. It was adorable. And the music was like classical with some piano. It was really nice. And then the version with the Pikmin, I love how they changed it to Pikmin music as well. That was very cool. Very neat. I don't know if this is for a game. It says it's brought to you by Nintendo Pictures. So it could be for a game. Could be for a digital short just to have some fun. Could be for a movie, who knows? But that's all here from the future. Editing Matt signing off. Until I see you again. Take care.
So, anywho's, keep it on the track and nice. Guess what, everybody that cares? Sandfall Interactive came out and had a big old spiel, and they were talking about how appreciative they were of the 5 million copies sold, and how Claire Obscure Expedition 33 has been selling so well and doing so well that they are going to give us a thank you. And coming up soon, they didn't say when, they're still making it, they're going to give us a brand new area in Claire Obscure with new bosses, new enemy stuff, new things to wear, all new stuff to do in general. They've got just all sorts of little goodies for us, outfits for free and whatnot, all coming our way free of charge to keep you and, of course, get you in, if you haven't got in maybe, to the wonderful world that they created this last year. Because, let me tell you, if you haven't, this is the time to jump in before the end of the year because you got to play this game because it's amazing. And I keep telling Matt he's got to play it, and I hope he does maybe. We'll see. It's running low on time. It's getting there. Whew. But I just thought it was good news. It's not a big deal, but just more content for you to check out. And I'm definitely going to be there checking it out myself.
And speaking of content and great news, we got the bad news for this week. It's the Xbox Game Pass price increase that happened, I think, like just after the show last week. They announced it, that Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is going up. Everybody says buy 50%. Just say buy $10. So it'll be $30 a month. They also add in for that tier, and I think some of the other tiers, which are also going up, the Ubisoft Plus Classics, which is apparently a $7.99 value. You also get Crew. Whatever that is, I bleeped out the word of the game because we're never talking about it on the show ever again, which is apparently an $11.99 value, but who plays that game anymore? They also specified you can earn points by playing games, you get store discounts. Kind of puts me in mind of a PS Plus or PlayStation Stars type of a thing, where if you play certain games, you get the Xbox reward points, which you can turn in for gift cards. You have a cap for the different tiers. I think Ultimate you can earn like $100 and then down the line from there. So everybody's mad. Everybody's pissed off. I am too. It sucks. Price increases suck. If you look at the monetary value they tell you they're adding, it wins out, but I don't like it. Now, to be fair, we talked about it in the Discord also. Steve and I, we're good for at least a year because when Woot had the 3-month Game Pass cards on sale for like half off, we bought a ton of them. So we're good for a year. But Eric and I talked about this off air too, and it just makes sense. I feel like Xbox Game Pass, for me especially, because I don't play Xbox a lot, it's my tertiary system. I'm going to become James. I canceled my Game Pass, but in 2 months, when XYZ comes out, then I'm going to up it again, play that game inside of a month. I'll play the new release for $30 instead of $70. Drop it, bop it, up and down and left and right. You know, this month, no PlayStation games are coming out, so I'm upping it, and I'm getting my backlog on Xbox. It sucks. It's bad news. Prices increase freaking everywhere, especially in the Microsoft and Xbox sector, where they keep firing people and closing studios. And then we need some more money, though. So, price hike. It's good. It's good. You love it.
Yeah, obviously a $1 trillion company doesn't really need to worry about money, but I get it. You don't stay a $1 trillion company by just blowing money either. So I see what they're trying to do. However, they're doing it just in the worst way. By increasing the prices so heavily, so quickly, you're doing nothing but pissing everybody off in your community. It's almost like you're just, hey, just get out of our community. Just go ahead and go. We don't care. Just go ahead and leave. And only like the whales or the super diehards, stick behind and actually pay that ultimate price, which to me is, we've just said, just not justifiable on a month-to-month basis. You're going to pop in at best only once in a blue moon when your favorite game comes to it, because then you can say, well, just like, oh, I can beat this in a month for $30 versus the $70. I get it in general. And then they want you, of course, to forget to unsubscribe, so then they get that extra month out of you. Now, this all is bad news to me, Matt, but there's one thing they could have done, I think, that might have at least saved face a bit, was in the tier that is now the price of the $20 price, which was what, you were paying. They should have made it so you get to pick 1 or maybe 2 games day one throughout the year. So you'd have like 2 tickets, basically, and then 2 games that they release day one launch with Xbox, blah, blah, blah. You could pick 2, 1 or 2 or whatever. I think that would have at least alleviated a lot of the frustration, because, yeah, I still feel like a lot of people are going to ditch and be aggravated that this is happening to them. But at least in that tier that you were already paying that same price for, you would have gotten a couple day one games throughout the year, which kind of might have been okay.
How about this? You would have to stay subscribed for a certain number of months to get that ticket. So if you stay for 3 months...
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Say 4 months, you get a ticket.
Yeah, 4 months, then you get 3 throughout the year, yeah.
Because otherwise, everyone will drop and then join up for Call of Duty time and go, I'm using my ticket for Call of Duty, woo! Play it for 2 months and then skedaddle McGaddle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like something you could earn by being a member. Well, I mean, you can earn the points, so you could sort of do that and get it half off or something off for free, but
yeah, but we both know earning the points is minuscule and takes forever. So realistically, while it's neat, unless you're a psycho gamer, it takes a year to get $50-$60 worth.
but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, I get it though.
It's there
I
a little
agree.
bit, but that would be a nice like chunk of just
That would have been something.
yeah.
To not just be a slap in the face to everyone who's been supporting, Xbox up to this point. And that's just what I feel, honestly, this was. For me, the PC Game Pass, which was $11.99, is now going up to $16.49. And so I am still not hurting that much. Like, it's still really low and catering to me, really, because I get out for $16.49. I get all day one games on the PC, et cetera, et cetera. So for only $5 more, I'm still getting all the goodies, which I still don't like, but I don't take such a big hit. It's the people that are invested in Xbox that are taking the hit, and that's the craziest part to me. The people that have bought your consoles, the ones that are there for you in the largest amounts of money, you're hitting the hardest with this. And of course, we both said it's a bad idea and not a great thing. And of course, there was the whole thing about the website itself for cancellations was blogs hit so hard that it went down, and that was a whole debacle this week of it being down. People can't even cancel because they can't get to the website to cancel. So that was the humorous joke that was getting tossed about. And then on the other end of everything, they just, of course, raised the prices on games. They were trying to raise the price on games. They did raise the price on the consoles themselves. It's just wild to me. Like, what is Xbox up to? They swear they're still committed to Xbox and they're going to make another console. We just saw them ditch their handheld and just ally with Asus to do a hybrid, console slash hand. It's a handheld, but you know what I mean. A hybrid of theirs versus Asus. So it just leads me to go, okay, well, are you really going to have another console, or are you just going to make like a weird PC that's sort of like a console with, some Asus again or some other brand? Like, where are we heading? And of course, they did come out and say, no, we're still committed to Xbox and we're committed as a brand. It just doesn't feel like it, though, from the actions. The things that are happening don't match up with the words coming out of these individuals' mouths. So I'm a little confused as to where this brand's going right now.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing that I keep making a thinking face, because we were just talking about the amount of money you can get if you are psycho and play the game and get all the rewards. You're playing games all the time. So if you are on Ultimate all the time for all year because you're a psycho, you can earn almost enough to cover the difference, essentially, because you can earn up to 100. So $10 times 12, you'd only be paying out an extra 20. I was just thinking about that because I was like, there's got to be something that you can do, and you can mostly do it. Like I said, you got to be the diehard gamer who's really doing all the stuff. But that was the other thing I was just thinking about it, just saying it out there, just saying it.
Well, and then, me and Matt briefly talked about this for a second and went and got the statistics up. They did a big old hoo-ha, some big company that always does this kind of stuff. And they got 33% of gamers buy one game a year.
It's not possible.
12% buy, less than once a year, 33%. About once a year is 12%.
No.
About once every 6 months is 18%. About once every 3 months is 22%. About once a month is 10%. And more than once a month is 4%. And this is the average typical gamer who buys games throughout the year. So you're talking,
Matt.
No,
it's not. No, it's not.
Only
there's a blatant
14% of players buy one or more games per month. And more than 60% only purchase 2 or fewer games a year.
That's not possible. Now, they're doing...
That's literally this according to Circana's Q3 2025 Future Games Survey.
I'm aware. I know. Okay. I read some big article about this too, but I don't want to be that. I've never been this guy, but I am going to be this guy. The people they're talking to are not real gamers. You're talking to a grandma who plays Candy Crush on her phone for 15 minutes a week. And like, oh, well, she doesn't buy a new game every year, but she plays that video game. You're talking to my grandma who would play Spider Solitaire. Well, she's a gamer. She's technically a gamer. Let's rope her in there. There's no way. It's inconceivable, and I don't believe this. This is false. This is false narratives. This is fake news. This is bullshit.
I believe it 100%, man.
No.
We are the freaks. We got to come to terms with it. We're the freaks. I know people. James, He's a friend of ours. He's loved video games his whole life, but
He's
he
not a
buys
gamer.
what, 2 games a year.
He's
One
not a
game year.
gamer.
We see it literally. Shay, he buys maybe 3 a year. We have friends that literally do exactly what these stats are showing us. Most people only buy 3, 2, 3, 4 at best games a year. So when the Ultimate's like, hey, you can match, don't worry, it's still a great value. If you, as long as you buy 6+ games a year, almost nobody does that. Only us weirdos. We're the minority. We're this tiny little spectrum right here of the 10% and 4%, so 14%. And then in my terms, I sometimes even reach a once every 3 months one, so that's 22%. So it's not like we're freaks. There's roughly 37% of us out there, but we are the minority. Most people only buy a few games a year tops. So it's like Xbox, you guys, you're trying to get this small portion of people on board with you, but you're already losing the console war this time around anyway. So most people are already on PC or PlayStation. So you're only getting a portion of the portion of the portion. Like, this can't be. I mean, it can be. It must be. There's no way they'd have done it if it doesn't seem like it's going to pan out in their favor. But it just doesn't add up.
I know we're standing too close to the fire on this because obviously we don't just know ourselves. We don't just know our buddies. We watch streamers who play a different game every 15 minutes. We hear about all these people who put, X number of thousands of hours into a game. So it doesn't seem right. And I understand like a normal person, but those people aren't gamers. We're gamers at least. But I talked about streamers who put 1 million hours into something. And that reminds me of something we haven't heard for a long time. A man ringing my doorbell and it's going bing bong. Because we got a mailbag from a buddy Generic Tag. And I think it's apropos because if we let this one sit, it'll fall out of the discussion. And he asks, do you think devs should listen to streamers and content creators when balancing and updating games? This guy, and he's talking about Moxie, MOXSYOG on Twitter, has 400 plus hours into a game, which is Borderlands 4, 2 weeks after release. And to me, there's no way that represents the actual audience for a game. And if you look at in our Discord, the Moxie tweet that this guy's talking about, he's talking about end game stuff for Borderlands 4. And in all the comments to all the replies to his tweets, he's like, no, guys, it's a trash fire. You guys don't understand. And people are saying, they're gamers like James saying, well, I'll get to this in 6 months. What does it matter? No, I'm telling you right now, it's really important. It's the most diehard thing. And I did the Google, say, how long has it been since Borderlands 4 at the time? It was 500 hours. And this guy had 400 hours into the game. So the question, should game developers and updaters listen to people like this, who are the psychopaths, who are the true absolute alpha direct gamers? Should they not? What do you think? Like, there's lots of different ways we can talk about it, obviously.
Well, it's a bit tricky. Now, the dealio with this, especially if you got a long-term game, which Borderlands typically is, Destiny, Borderlands, games that go on for years and years and years, is that if you have the backing of streamers and content creators, they keep playing your game and they keep making content using your game, which creates more users. Because now the followers of these big-time streamers, etc., they want to be involved too, so they play the game, so they can have a conversation with their favorite streamer, with their favorite content creator. And so the developers, of course, are going to want to make sure that those streamers are getting what they want to an extent, so that way they're happy and keep playing the game and telling other people to play the game. And the sad fact is, some of these content creators or streamers are so big that it's a legitimate real thing. When you got, 750,000 people or 75K people or whatever watching you and you're telling them to play a game, that means something for the developer side, the publishing side. They've got to go, hey, in this example, hey, I don't know what Moxie's numbers are or anything like that, but hey, Moxie's really pushing for this and saying we should look at this item. And you know what? If he goes, I'm done with this game, everybody get out of here. Let's go over to Chicken Nugget Factory Land. And all of his 75, and obviously the 75,000 people watching him aren't all going to be brainless and just listen to what he says and do it. But you're going to get a portion. You're going to get 30,000 of them or so to just ditch your game and leave. So it does make sense to an extent to at least listen to what the content creators and the streamers are asking you to do with the game. But no, I don't think overall, from heart of hearts, that the developer should be listening to anybody. Developer needs to do whatever the hell they want to do. It's their game. You do what you want to do with your game. You made it. Do what you want with it. If it succeeds, great. And look at you. You just had a great idea. You did some cool stuff. Everybody's playing, having a great time. And if it sucks, well, you better fix it quick because now nobody's playing your game. Or, hey, I'm committed to what I did and I don't care. And then your game falls off and disappears like a million other games do every single day of the week. So at the end of the day, no. Development should trust themselves and do what they want to do. If the image is strong for the game or whatever what they want. However, it is important to be listening because we've seen it time again with these online service games and long-term games. If you don't cater to the audience, you're going to die, period. So, we can go in different directions from here, but that's my general statement.
I think I overall generally agree with you, but some of the other responses in the Discord, I do want to read those out too. Our buddy Noble says he thinks content creators are a good place to look for feedback, if not solutions to problems. Just because Moxie is early doesn't mean he's wrong, but it'll help to have more people reach the end game to know how to improve it. Our buddy Demented Wizard also says, I don't want game devs to focus their efforts on making the best game for the people with the audiences in order to get better publicity. I want them to build the best game for the actual audience. It's on the content creator to be a representative of their audience. And I feel like I agree. The question I posed in the Discord is, if you played 400 hours of a game in only 500 hours of time, which it doesn't compute in my head, how could any end game be good enough for you? Like, I know you were the World of Warcraft Raider guy. I played League of Legends like die hard forever. But like in 400 hours of 500 hours of time, there's no way, well, you with your luck, maybe not, but there's no way you couldn't have everything you wanted. And so you're done until something new happens. Like, what end game could be so perpetual that much focused time? You get what I'm saying? There's no way that would make you stick around. You can't. The people who do this aren't representative of any actual gamer or any actual end game grinder even. Like, it's such an extreme edge case is what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Is Moxie, he's built his name off of Borderlands, so he's going to play it. He's going to play every character. He's going to play every build of every character. He's going to make specific runs that are only going for a certain thing with a certain weapon. And he's going to do that over and over. He's going to min-max and then teach you how to min-max every single build. So yes, he will get thousands and thousands of hours into this not because he's like necessarily just wants to play Borderlands forever, but because his content is based off Borderlands. So therefore he's going to play it over and over because that's what his audience wants. And in that respect, his audience is going to want Borderlands to listen to what Moxie says. And, because, of course, they trust what Moxie's opinions are on how Borderlands should feel, play, and go. So to him and to his audience, it is a big deal. And it is a very extreme case, though. Most streamers do not just play one game forever, over and over and over again. But for him, it is important. Now, I agree wholeheartedly, though. No, you should not base everything you do off what Moxie says you should do, because just like it was Noble, right, who said that you need to wait till thousands and thousands of other people get to this, and then if you start hearing the same thing over and over again, now you should probably really take a look. But if it's just your diehard crazy streamers who are, all about content for Borderlands 4, whilst you should say, hey, we heard your opinion, cool, just so they know, hey, I'm being heard, I feel great, I feel good. You shouldn't change it, though. You need to wait, because just like Demented Wizard also said, your general audience needs to get there. How do we feel? How does just the average gamer feel when they get to that point? Now, of course, the cynic side of me goes, the average gamer's never going to get to end game. They're going to play the game and then quit at 75% of the way through, because as we've seen time and time again in most games, nobody finishes video games. So that's just the way it goes. It's always like a 14, 10, 15% rate on any game being finished ever. So,
but then you have the people who are like us. We're crazy, but not that crazy. We're going to get to end game, but is it really going to matter as much as it seems to matter? We're going to have maybe two pieces that we know about or care about. You'll go a little farther than I will, but like, is there a fun activity to do? Are there fun randomized bosses or some kind of fun content to do? Because I know his was all about farming for the drops. It's only about the drops. It's this, but it wasn't about the playing of the game, which is most important to most people. Like, I know it's a looter shooter and it's different, but like, if you ask James, he's not going to be, yeah, we gotta farm 18 times to get that boss, and I gotta be able to blah, 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 blah. I agree with everything that everybody's been saying. More people got to get there. It's got to be a broader consensus of what the actual thoughts on Endgame are. Endgame should be catered to a little bit of everybody. Most everybody, a little bit for them, a couple tweaks for the crazies and the diehards and the whatevers. But if most people playing Endgame aren't that, you're not beholden to that.
So he was talking about drop rates. I didn't read the whole shtick on what he was even talking about. Like I said, it's been quarter in, so I'm not focused on anything. Was he saying that the drop rates are too easy or too hard or something?
I think it was
else entirely.
I think it was the current, there's big encore and wild card missions, and I guess those rotate every week. So if you don't care about the stuff that is dropped by the big encore and the wild card missions, then you're not even going to play this week.
But you can still farm the bosses. The bosses themselves have set loot. So if you're farming for a particular item, you can just go farm the boss. Yes, doing it via the special routes, I think, has a higher chance of that specified loot dropping. But you can still just go farm in general. And it'd be just like old time Borderlands, where you just go farm for the bee or whatever it was for 16 hours until you get the perfect drop.
And if you were definitely looking for the bee, then anytime it came in the wild card or the big encore or the whatever, and every time it came in the weekly with a higher drop chance, you'd be more excited to do that.
Because you're doing it there now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like,
I don't know.
I mean, just like you said, if the drop chances go up in the weeklies, but they're still there for regular daily playing,
boss. Yeah.
then it's not like you're losing out. You're just gaining when it comes around.
Yeah. So that's strange to me. See, so already we're saying, hey, wait till more people get there, because sounds like you're just hurrying to get all the best things you want, and you want to be able to just get them as fast as humanly possible. But you already put 400 hours into this thing. Well, everybody else has maybe 10, 20 at best right now. It's like, slow it down. Cool it.
He's up to like 1,029 hours.
Yeah,
now.
I know.
It's bananas. And, most real gamers probably have about 5 hours in right now. In about a whole month, you can only put about 5 hours into a game.
No, we're not. We are failing on the Borderlands front. All right, we're definitely failing on that front right now. We're not matching up, folks. We're trying, but man, we are just Matt's busy, I'm busy, Matt's busy, I'm busy. We're getting there. Someday we're getting there. I'm excited to get back to it, to be honest with you. I've been itching to play some more. So it's been a bummer that it's actually not working out right now.
And speaking of failing, Eric has a chance to fail twice this week because he missed last week's Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner question. And last week's question was, get ready, put your thinking cap on, put your thinking scratch on your head right there, Mr. Eric. Corvo Attano is a protagonist of which video game series?
Corvo Attano.
Correct.
Corvo Attano. Man, it sounds like what's her name from Halo, but it's not. Cortana from Halo. Corvo. Oh man. We'll go, since I don't actually know. I'll take a guess, and I will say it's from Corvo Attano. Corvo Attano. Corvo. Mirror Image.
I don't even know what that is, but you are wrong. The
Damn
answer is Dishonored. So that's for last week. This week's question is, here's another one Eric should definitely get.
Don't say this.
I say that sarcastically. I say it sarcastically because you have not played this series. In the 1998 game Metal Gear Solid, what is the name of the rogue Black Ops unit led by Liquid Snake?
I hate Metal Gear. You're ruining everything for me. You're ruining my chances. You're ruining everything. Green Grass.
High-tech Special Forces Unit, your former unit, and one that I was the commander of.
As Colonel, why did I blank on his name? What a loser. As the Colonel says, I'm going to cut it together so nobody knows that I blanked on his name.
Damn straight.
So if you know the answer to the new question for this week, send that to us via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine @ThirdShiftME. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift, or if you have more mailbag questions, thanks to our buddy Generic Tag for that question. We do still have another question in the mailbag. We might be saving that for an emergency save our bacon situation. Or if you have any thoughts on the other things we talked about this week, send it to us via all those things. And I don't know how I end the segment. I guess that's it.
Sounds right, Matt. Sounds fantastic. And you know what else can save our bacon is you heading over to Patreon, throwing in $1, $2, $3, all the bucks, throwing the money, just throw it all in. It's a little tip jar. So anything helps us keep the lights on, pay the bills, and gets us up and at 'em in the gaming world. But you know what? If you can't throw some bucks our way, money's tight. Understood. Spotify has a 5-star rating that you can go over there and give us a 5-star on. Apple Podcasts does as well. Go do that. Go over to Twitch. If you got Amazon Prime, they give you free money every month to give to your favorite streamer, and who's not your favorite but Mr. Matt. He's there. He's playing some games, going to Death Stranding, doing wild stuff. Go throw the $5 in that little old tip jar over yonder. And you can support us by going over to Discord, joining in, having some conversations, having some fun, throwing mailbag questions our way. It all is great stuff, and we appreciate the holy hell out of it.
Yeah, see, the old spirit of old Matt from those old episodes came into my brain and wrapped his little tendrils around my medulla oblongata. And I forgot how I do my segments at the end, because our outro used to just be like, all right, well, bye. And we do the line, but I'm not going to say the line because it's not the end. I forgot to say, hit us up on Discord, the Patreon. If I'm streaming, hit up a stream. That's my normal outro line for that segment. Don't come to my house. Don't knock on the door. Don't make a weird, extremely loud gunshot or like stuff throwing down from a second floor into a dumpster noise. I heard that twice today. I was very scared. I hid under the table. I started crying. I started shaking. It was too much for me. I can't handle people and I can't handle things. I talked about that to start the episode, how I can't handle people. But if you can handle listening to more of our ramblings, the next episode will be dropping on around the 16th of October on iTunes and Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, a review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any of those good services, because it does help us out. And we really do appreciate it.
Indeed, we do appreciate it. Just like we appreciate the Apple Podcast 5-star reviews. We've beaten it into your head a million times. I think I threatened you last week. I actually threatened you again. Can't say for sure because I forgot, because it's the way it goes. But I don't think I did, because it was a quarter and one. And I was probably just drug-addled, don't know what was happening. So anywho's, here we are. We're coming up on Halloween, folks. The spooks are coming. Let's see some 5 stars. I want to know what y'all want from us. Send us a 5-star with a request for Halloween. How about that? Will that entice you? Do you have a special request for a Halloween episode? Do you want us to do something goofy or stupid in particular? Well, if you send a 5-star rating with your whole, this is what I want you to do, we might actually do it. That's a good incentive. So think about it. I don't know.
With that, there's nothing else to say but.
Don't
forget to say.
Shut up and sit down.
Also, we never used to outro it in a weird way. We'd literally just both say, don't forget to save. It was so wild and so heartwarming back in the day. Now it's weird.
Now we always do weird stuff. That's the way it goes.